The food chain is a cold-hearted thing. And for those with hooves, it usually means they're just someone else's dinner. But should we really give all our attention to the carnivores? Maybe some of these antlered guys are just as aggressive. Meet the true alpha male of the forest tundra and forest steppe of Eurasia and America. This massive member of the deer family chases wolves away like they're little puppies. With a single left hook, or rather a kick, he can knock out a bear. And if our hero today crosses paths with your car, no insurance policy is gonna save you. So say hello to the moose, alces, a genus of even-toed ungulates and the absolute largest members of the deer family. It includes two species, the European moose, Alces alces, and the American moose, Alces americanus, which have a different number of chromosomes, 68 and 70 respectively. Since the chromosome difference doesn't stop them from crossbreeding, and both species live side by side in eastern Siberia, many scientists lately consider them subspecies of a single species, Alces alces. Simply put, a moose is a moose whether it's in America or anywhere else. Our guy is often confused with the red deer. Yeah, there is a noble deer like that. But one look is enough to tell who's the boss of the woods. In terms of size and strength, the Sohatii, as he's called in Slavic regions, will outclass anyone. By the way, they call him Sohatii because of his pride and joy, those massive antlers. Their shape reminds people of a soha, an ancient Slavic plow. These antlers are the largest of any modern mammal. They're shovel-shaped with a wingspan of up to 180 centimeters and a weight of 30 kilograms. A brutal male stands over 2 meters tall, 3 meters long, and weighs in at 600 kilos. Females, unfortunately, missed out on both the antlers and the size. They're about 1.5 times smaller. Despite their bulky build, moose can easily sprint through the taiga at 60 kilometers per hour. They're spread across the forest zone of the northern hemisphere, occasionally popping up in the forest tundra, forest steppe, and the edges of the steppe. In Europe, you can find them in Poland, the Baltics, Czechia, Hungary, Belarus, northern Ukraine, Scandinavia, and Russia. As you might have guessed, our guest today sticks to a vegan diet. Besides the grass within reach, he mixes things up with aquatic plants. And get this, our antlered friend is a fantastic swimmer. Calves start swimming just a few days after birth and they're really confident at it. An adult moose can swim up to 20 kilometers. And he's not just bobbing around, he can hit speeds of 9 km/h. His powerful body and long legs provide great hydrodynamics, while his fur keeps him from freezing. He can even dive pretty deep for seaweed and hold his breath. Basically, the moose loves pool parties. It saves him from both the heat and parasites. Besides the water treatments, the moose doesn't mind dabbling in some forbidden substances. For example, he loves snacking on mushrooms including fly agarix, amanitas. But it's not for the trip, it's to get rid of intestinal parasites. However, to actually have some fun, he goes for other stuff like fermented apples, which hit him just like alcohol. Trust me, a drunk moose on the road is something you wouldn't wish even on your worst enemy. To top off the big baby with addictions kit, we have salt. There's barely any salt in plants, but his body needs it. Searching for these stashes is what brings moose to roads and cars. Turns out they're salty. Because of this salt craving, moose often end up in accidents because drivers just don't expect a giant ungulate in the middle of the road. When winter hits, these lonely forest bandits team up into small herds. The only food available then is bark and tree shoots. To find a meal, they have to trek 50 kilometers a day. Their strong long legs and flat hooves help them push through 2-foot snowdrifts. They literally don't sink in the snow, moving across white dunes with ease without slowing down. By the way, the moose has a powerful antifreeze system in its legs. The temperature in their hooves and lower legs is 15 to 20 degrees Celsius lower than in their core. This keeps them from losing heat while standing knee-deep in icy water or snow. It's all thanks to heat exchange between the arteries and veins. Just like high-tech heat exchangers. As you've probably figured out by now, the moose is not a small dude. Plus, his arsenal includes giant shovel antlers, sharp powerful hooves, and a whole lot of bravery and power. That's why predators usually only go for the calves or the weak ones. Only a bear is brave enough to go toe-to-toe with a healthy adult moose. And even then, there are known cases where a single kick killed a bear on the spot. But the moose turns into a real monster during mating season. In the fall, the forest becomes a gladiator arena, and the moose are the crazed gladiators. Their antlers are no longer covered in velvet. They shed it at the end of summer, turning them into bone weapons of war. The desire for the best female leads to endless bloody duels. And a moose will fight not just other males, but any living thing that gets between him and his lady. Interestingly, they're even more noble than red deer. They don't fight for a harem but for a single female. With his mate, the fighter acts like a total gentleman, attentive and patient, and he takes rejection with cold politeness, bowing and sadly walking away to find another true love. About 7 to 8 months after the bloodbath, 1 to 3 calves are born. Just 10 minutes after birth, the babies are on their feet, and a week later they're running right behind mom. By the way, the calves also turn a peaceful female into an aggressive beast. Now it's her turn to crack the skulls of anyone nearby. She'll attack anyone who poses even the slightest threat. This helicopter parenting is totally justified because half of the calves won't survive their first year due to predators. Wolves are the biggest threat. Despite her power, it's hard for a mother moose to fend off an attack from several sides since wolves hunt in packs. The surviving youngsters are ready to mate by their second year. But they aren't ready to face a veteran gladiator just yet. Teenage moose form their own little cliques, gaining experience in microscuffles, and only by age 4 are they ready to fight for the lady of their dreams. A moose's life in the wild is short, only 10 to 12 years. You can blame parasites for that. Yeah, no predator scares a moose, but worms, gnats and ticks can cut his life in half. In captivity, these giant deer can live over 20 years. We hope you appreciate our work. Thanks for watching this video. Don't forget to hit the like button, leave a comment about which animal you'd like to see in the next video, and share this with your friends. It really helps our small community grow. Subscribe to our social media via the links in the description. There's a lot of cool stuff there. This was Shadows on the Tent, a channel about animals. We're building a massive video encyclopedia of all species on the planet. Love nature along with us. See you soon.